ano o wai ale ale.
When we started doing all the work we do in the Alaka, the only air support we had was to get our food and our really heavy supplies in and out of the Alaka, and we did all the rest of the things we needed to do on foot. So we commuted on foot, and it's an arduous terrain, and it took a big toll on the workers, and it actually reduced our efficacy in the field a lot. And so working with our partners to find the budget that we needed to be able to increase the amount of air support we have for our operations has been critical.
The air support's like incredibly important. There's no way to actually access a lot of the field sites we're going to. Physically just getting to the different spots where the work's going to take place is usually like a 2-hour drive plus a 7-hour hike. So it's not even like day trip work. You got to go in there and camp, often for like a week at a time. But just actually to do work in a productive way there, you got to have the air support.
There are several missions for which it is indispensable. And one of those is this mosquito control program. The primary one is this mosquito control program. We have to deliver mosquitoes twice a week by air over this 3,000 acre in the southern Alaka Plateau to ensure that we can suppress mosquito populations adequately. If we cannot continuously release these incompatible males that are going to go and breed with the females and continue to have these infertile matings, then the population will just tick back up again. But it's also critical for our other mosquito control operation, which is releasing this biolarvicide in another area of the Alaka Plateau where we're trying to kill mosquito larvae with a very, very, very targeted bacteria that only affects mosquito larvae. In the past, we've tried to reduce mosquito larvae populations with hand treatments, and it's just like finding a needle in the haystack, trying to find every little water source there is in the Alaka Plateau, because essentially it's a swamp, correct? So having air support for those missions is indispensable. And then the final project that we're doing this year also is we are collecting eggs from a rapidly declining species, the Anyanyao, so that we can start a conservation breeding program for them as an insurance population. And if we can't get those eggs out in a timely fashion, i.e. by helicopter, the program won't work because it's too dangerous and too time-consuming to hike tiny, tiny little eggs out. We would crack them, they would break. So it's really critical to everything we are doing this year that we have, the safe, efficient, reliable helicopter support for our operations.
We celebrate all the preparatory steps that brought us here, including the technology of helicopters and people, both the machines and the people, the laboratory science which enables the mosquito release, the ornithologists, biologists, office and field conservation staff who are tasked with the responsibility for carrying out the project.
Yeah, she at least loves helicopters. She couldn't even believe it. Normally she'll point out every time she sees a helicopter. As soon as we pulled up here to the airport today, though, there was about 5 or 6 at once, and she was spinning in all directions. So she's pretty into it. And she calls, she doesn't call them helicopters yet. I think she calls all flying birds and then other flying things, nay.
You may not know it. Jack Harder, rest in peace, died a few years ago. First time I went up flying with him, he talked about the birds in his narration. Talked about how they're worried about the temperature rising up high and the mosquitoes getting up there. So now we're doing something to help keep it from going further. Thanks a lot.